Hello, dear friends. Welcome to a commentary channel where content varies. And if you are interested in a particular subject, I've uploaded thousands of videos. Just have a look. Put in YouTube in my channel a search for a subject. I might just have covered it. And this video, instead of going to Reddit where there's a lot of fear-mongering, I'm going to read from another source, and it's about Project 2025. Now the source is, this is the website, okay? I'll spell it for you. aclu.org/news/civil -liberties/projects 2025 office dystopian view of America. I will put the link in the description, okay? I'm not going to read everything. You do your own research on chapter 2025. I'm just going to read certain sections, so bear with me. The heading is Life Under Project 2025, and it says, take, for example, an undocumented father living in Texas whose spouse and young children are U.S. citizens. The undocumented father is injured in a workplace accident, but in Project 225's America, he will have to choose between foregoing treatment or risk being separated from his family. Now I'm just going down further. When the government decides how we are permitted to live, people and communities suffer. Imagine a 27-year-old woman in eastern Washington state who has a young son and becomes pregnant. She works 2 jobs but struggles to make ends meet. She knows that having another child would be detrimental to her and her son and wants to end her pregnancy. But she lives several hours from the nearest abortion provider. She doesn't have a car, and she risks losing her job if she takes time off to travel to the clinic. Today, she would be able to do what 20% of people seeking abortions do and use telehealth to contact a provider and have FDA-approved abortion pills sent to her. However, Project 2025 calls for a presidential administration to push the post-Dobbs epidemic of abortion bans into blue states like Washington. The project has called for the misuse of a 150-year-old anti-obscenity law to prosecute healthcare providers for mailing abortion pills. If Project 2025 succeeds, That means the pregnant woman in Washington state won't be able to get an abortion and will be forced to carry her pregnancy against her will and endure labor, possibly putting her own health and the well-being of her family at risk. Now I'm going further down. Consider an Iraq War veteran who, like many veterans, receives medical care from a Veterans Affairs VA hospital. The veteran does not have other medical insurance or the resources to pay for medical care out of pocket. She is transgender and has been receiving gender-affirming hormone therapy for more than a decade. Prior to beginning hormone therapy, she experienced significant gender dysphoria, which impacted her mental health and ability to function. She depends on gender-affirming care from the VA to keep her body aligned with her identity so she can maintain her health and well-being. For the trans veteran, Project 2025 would be devastating. Following Project 2025's playbook, the VA would prohibit the provision of gender-affirming medical care in the VA healthcare system. As a result, she is now forced to discontinue her treatment and medically detransition. She ends up struggling with the serious health impacts of untreated gender dysphoria, forcing her to take medical leave from her job and causing her to retreat from the military community she had built her life around. Then, imagine a high school English teacher in an under-resourced public school that is 65% black. He knows from personal experience that not seeing himself reflected in the books he read and the history he learned made it hard to stay engaged and motivated in school. He remembers the aha moment when he took his first African American literature class in college and realized what it's like to see his experiences represented on the page. That's why he built an English curriculum that includes books by black and brown authors, discusses current events that impact racial justice, and encourages students to write freely about their own identities. He's found that allowing students to feel seen in what they study and in the work they do not only boosts engagement but also test scores and graduation rates. Project 2025 wants to gut the teacher's entire curriculum. Already a wave of classroom censorship and anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) laws have severely restricted students' right to learn. Project 2025 vows to take it a step further and eliminate all efforts to acknowledge or support diversity in schools. In Project 2025 America, states are empowered to pass laws that force the English teacher to educate students on the benefits of slavery, or to remove all mentions of race when discussing civil rights icons like Rosa Parks. If Project 2025 succeeds, the teacher can no longer lead discussions about race in policing or in hate crimes without the risk of being fired for engaging in so-called anti-white racism. Unwilling to turn his back on his students, our teacher tests the limits and quickly finds himself on administrative leave. As each of these examples show, Project 2025's nightmarish vision of America should alarm anyone who cares not just about the principles of constitutional freedom and rights, but about people. The ACLU won't stand idly by and let our fundamental freedoms, including our right to say what we want, to control our bodies, and to participate freely in society, be taken from us. I'm now coming back to you. Hold on. If you believe in what I have just said, please start a petition. I don't live in America, but it is very alarming. As I've said in my other videos, people like to blame things, but the truth is that the dollar, whether it's American dollar or the Australian dollar, just doesn't have the same value it once had. So people like to blame governments, and in this case the Labor government. So Australia is likely to follow most of the rest of the democratic Western world and vote right. This means we will have a Liberal government, a Liberal Prime Minister by the name of Peter Dutton. Peter Dutton will ally himself very strongly to America. So watch this space, Australia, because we do not want to end up like America. In the past, we've had our prime ministers say sorry. And yes, I agree. There's only so many times we should have to say sorry. But people should have a right to do what they want to do to their body. Not only that, colour is just skin deep. We all bleed the same. We are all humans. And to ignore what we have done to coloured and black people is alarming. Let me share a story with you. I was born in England. In 1967, we boarded a passenger Greek liner, E-double-L, E-double-L-E-N-I-S, the biggest ship of its time. And on our way, it was about 6 weeks from England to Australia. We were known as the 10-Pound Poms. We stopped off in Cape Town. Well, South Africa was under the time ruled under apartheid law. We got on a bus in Cape Town and got into trouble because we were sitting in the wrong part of the bus. Because in the bus, there was a room for coloureds, whites and blacks. But that's not the worst of my story. When I was walking down the street, and I'm nearly 7 years old, and there I saw a white man with a stick beating a black man. And I cried and I said to my dad, do something. He said, we can't. That's the law of this land. And that's where I developed my sense of justice. We are all humans, human race. We may look different, we may be unique, we may have disabilities, we may have mental illness, we may be transgender, we may be gay, we may be coloured, but we are still human and we still have rights. Now, apparently, I did go to Reddit and they saying that Trump is kind of distancing himself from Project 2025, yet there are other parts of Project 2025 that have come into play. I'm very new to this, I'm playing catch up. From my understanding, Project 2025 was developed by a think tank. Go to Wikipedia, look it up. And it was developed should President Trump win the 2024 election. It is 800 pages long. Like I said, nothing new under the sun. History repeating itself, and it looks so much like 1939 Nazi Germany. And I am very worried that should, and it's going to happen, Peter Dutton becomes Prime Minister, and we, being an ally of America, and unfortunately we can't stand up for ourselves. Australia only has it's up to 21 billion people. Now, we're an aging population. Most of the population is over 45, and as I said, 90% or more of the population lives on the coast. We can't, if an enemy came, we can't defend ourselves. We need to rely on superpowers. But my son, who has spent a long time going through Reddit and reading it, doesn't like where things heading. He said to me, Mum, don't you realise you're on a disability pension? Peter Dutton gets in, he's going to investigate every person on disability support pension, and because, Mum, you've done voluntary work, you're going to go work. I said, there's not enough jobs. He said, we're going to have camps. And, we the poor are going to be sheeple for the elite. Well, my attitude is, I can't fight it. I have no control over it. It is what it is. If it comes, I have to just accept it. But people have power. People united, we have power. And we have to face, for every action we do, the consequences of our actions. So if you have voted Trump and you have voted for this chapter 2025, it's on you. It's on you. So all that effort to go, what's the word, to not modernize, but to embrace everybody's uniqueness and equality. You've gone 200 years backwards or more, back to the Dark Ages. Please, if you're going to leave a comment, be respectful. I understand you might think Trump's the greatest thing that ever happened, and you have a right to that opinion, just as I have a right to my opinion. We all have rights to think what we have, but please look up chapter 2025 and see what the consequences are. And if it comes in and you voted that way, you are responsible. Own it. All right, be kind to one another, because kindness matters and it costs nothing to be kind. With love, light and blessings, and I'm going to go down some more rabbit holes with this, but it won't be on video. I've said, I've laid it out. I've stood, I've made my stand. You know where I stand. Stand with me. United we stand, but disunited we fall. And those who, like me, into conspiracies, here comes dictatorship and one world government. It's coming. All right. Bye. Thank you again very much for watching. Bye.